Welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Critically harsh reviews with a touch of class.
Go.
And welcome to the Board Game Snobs podcast. Probably the only podcast about board games that features more podcasting about random things than it does actual board games. But we are attempting to fix that. Are we? Are we attempting to fix that, Gobby?
Huh?
What? Will you
Are
polish
you
it?
going to watch Shazam?
Did you just finish off my Glen Morange?
No, that was the Kenichi.
Oh, okay.
Have you sampled the Glimmerange yet?
I drank it.
Oh.
I didn't sample it. I drank
A
it.
sample?
I like
Did you wet your lips with it?
two things. One,
Wet your whistle?
I like Glenmorangie Nectar Dior. It's very nice scotch.
Very good.
Secondly, when you say Shazam,
Shazam!
are you referring to that show that's coming out soon?
Probably by the time this comes out, it will have already been out a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Starring Chuck?
I'm not interested.
Did you ever watch Chuck?
I did not watch Chuck. I'm not, as you well know. All right, so I'll allow this. Generally,
Zachary Levi.
I don't like talking about movies with you on this podcast.
Why?
Because you utilize your love of cinema. 'Cause you're a cinemaphile.
How dare you?
To just hard
What?
merge everything into movies.
I love
somehow.
movies. I love watching movies. I love going to the movies. We bought our tickets for to the Alamo Draft House.
Which you had a bad
For,
experience last time.
No, that was Studio Movie Grill.
No, I'm sorry.
Alamo
I'm
Draft
sorry.
House.
Which other venue is it that strategically serves you food in the middle of a movie?
Alamo Draft House strategically serves you food. In fact, the way this one is set up in Richardson, there is a trench. You have your food.
I'm sorry. I'm going to interject. That's called a trough.
No, it's a trench.
They just come by and just dump popcorn
I
and butter
don't
into this trough. And at any time you're ready, you just lean for it and eat out of it. Is that what that is?
Now
No.
that would be awesome. But no,
Welcome to the trough.
you have your chairs. Then you have like basically a bar in front of you.
I know how a movie theater set up.
No, you do. Have you been to the Alamo Draft House?
I have not been.
Okay, well then.
I've not been to the Alamo Draft House. I've not been-
Coyote Osicon. You have a bar in front of you.
Okay.
It's basically a ledge. That's where they will serve you. But behind that, it's stadium seating. So
Okay.
it's slowly ascending or descending, depending on your point of view. So the seats in front of me are down lower, and that's where they pick up your food. So all you can see is their hand when they pluck your whatever you want from you. You write down what you want on a piece of paper, you set it in front of you, and they will come in front of you, and you can never see them.
That's terrifying.
And they just pluck it. The next thing you know,
do
your
you
drink
remember-
shows up.
Do you remember that? I just have this. I could not handle that. Do you remember that Addams Family where the thing that was just the hand?
The thing.
No, that's the furry guy.
Oh,
That's the furry guy. No, that was cousin.
that was Thing.
That was cousin It.
Cousin It was the hairy
Okay,
guy.
we got cousin It. The thing was just a dismembered hand.
Yes.
That's what that would freak me out, to be watching some show and all of a sudden this hand just pop up and here's
Well,
your
when you're
whiskey
wanting to see
sour.
the movies, that's what you want.
And
I just want a hand to bring me my whiskey sour. I don't care who it's attached to. Just bring it.
I want to make you a whiskey sour. I've been learning them here recently.
So, in
But-
the Alamo Draft House, but this is the thing. They do not tolerate phones or talking. If there's some idiot that won't shut up, I simply write down, "Psst, hey, the guy next to me won't shut up." They will warn him, and then they will boot him out if he does not heed the warnings.
So you're just sitting here writing this on a piece of
Yes.
paper. The guy in the third row from the left is
Yes.
being a jerk. And
Exactly.
just leave it there and the little hand
just
comes pick
slide
it
it.
up.
You slide
And next
it in
thing you
front of
know,
you.
he has a hand that peeks over the side and it's like
Next thing
pointing
you
at
know,
him.
he's gone.
It's pointing at him, sir.
He's
Please stop
missing.
this.
He's missing.
wanna-
He's never heard from again.
I want to point something out. This is
The Alamo Draft House Mafia comes against him.
I want you to know that I won't want you to take this. I may say some things that you could take in the pejorative, but this is not a criticism. I find it very fascinating that when we're about to review a game, you're like, oh yeah, this is good. There's pieces, and I was like, well, describe it. Well, there's this thing you move. You like barely have any type of detail about a board game, but when it comes to describing the intimate details of the Alamo Drafthouse, there's a bar, and each of there's 4 seats. You have intimate knowledge and descriptions of the Alamo Drafthouse.
Well,
of places, but of the board games, I don't know.
I don't know. My heart lies in movies, I guess.
I guess so.
But anyway, Avengers Endgame. We're there for the opening weekend. Sunday we're going. Me, Sade, Dejan Shar.
Now, I'm going to, spoiler alert for all those that may be, but I have been trying to catch up.
You got a long way to go.
I have a long way to go. I have watched
Iron Man 1.
Yes, and 2.
Oh,
but
okay. Then you're only 17 movies behind.
In an attempt to catch up briefly, Wikipedia, which is like the Cliff Notes of cinema, and so I understand. I have several issues with this thing, okay. But there's this guy who apparently snapped his fingers and everybody died.
Right.
So that's what we're picking up on now.
Got you.
Now I have a question, and I have not watched that film yet. That's just what I know from the extensive memes I've seen here lately.
Okay.
Why was there a reason? Why? How did he do that? Like, how do you? There's a glove apparently.
It's a powerful glove. Like the Nintendo Power Glove.
Okay. So
he donned it.
So the purple guy, which just looks like Tinky Winky grown up, gets the power glove.
He's a Titan.
Which is a thing. A Titan is like...
He's already a powerful being, but then he gets this glove, which is basically omnipotent and omniscient and everything else.
An omnipotent glove.
Yes.
Omnipresent glove.
Yes.
Okay.
It has the power of reality.
It looked like Michael Jackson's.
Time.
Do you remember Michael Jackson's white glove that had rhinestones? Yes. That's basically what he had.
Well, if he could have snapped it.
So he snapped it and killed half of everybody.
Well, whatever he wished.
Why
he had the 5 Infinity Stones.
Why didn't he snap it again? Where is he at now? Why isn't he just not snapping his fingers?
Because it's done. It burnt up.
So he's dead?
No, he's in his happy place.
But his glove burned up.
Yeah,
so
he used it
to snap and kill everything.
One and done.
Okay, that's
as far as I can tell.
That is the one thing I had issues with. It's so far that I have not.
Now the gems he was using throughout the movie very powerfully, but when he got all of them together to do his ultimate thing, which was to, according to him, equal out the universe. Which how half of everything equals equal. I don't know.
Well, he's trying to, carbon emissions.
Right, right. He snapped his fingers and wiped out half the universe's population. And so according to him, now everything is equal, which how that measures out, I don't know.
But there's other questions I had.
But the glove, like, I don't know where I saw it. Maybe it was in the comic books, but it's like it's burnt, like it's toast.
Now, where does the Joker come into play? Because I watched the trailer for that a while back. That looks like that's interesting. Is he?
He steals it later.
Okay.
And then he puts it on.
I like Batman. No, Batman is the only one that I've ever somewhat
Batman
watched.
had the kryptonite to fight off the glove.
And I know that's not right. Now you're just being facetious.
And then he got beamed up to Krypton. Is that what you want to do? That's called merging. That's called universe cross
conflagration.
Yes.
I don't even know if that's a word.
No, it's not.
All right, so
it is.
I'm done with talking about movies with you. I've been reading Frankenstein and I just finished it.
Okay.
I liked it.
What did you like about it?
So you're okay. Look. If we're going to do this banner stuff and you're going to make me talk about Marvel or DC or whoever, I would like to spend some time to talk about some things that are a little bit more refined.
Oh, yeah, because people really care about Frankenstein these days.
They do care about Frankenstein.
No, they don't.
Frankenstein.
Nobody cares.
There has never really been a good adaptation of the book.
Tell that to Gene Wilder.
I'm telling it to Gene Wilder. The movie was nothing like the book. And
when he came up on that big door.
And Mary Shelley was experiencing a lot of...
Did you ever see that, Young Frankenstein?
Yes, I watched Young Frankenstein. Well, now wasn't that Peter Bull that was Frankenstein?
yes.
Okay, I was making sure that was Raymond's dad. That was Raymond's dad. That was Frankenstein.
That movie was so crazy.
That was great. You're making me want to watch that. But that's a good movie.
Okay.
Why can't we watch that?
My whole life, I have thought, and I've heard it said that this is generally the way it's thought of now. I have always thought Frankenstein was the monster.
True, and it's not. Victor
is
Frankenstein is the individual
scientist.
who's the scientist,
The doctor or whatever.
who finds the way to reanimate through either galvanism,
monster.
and he pieces together a monster, then rejects said monster, and then the monster goes on a tear, harming his family, trying to learn the language, and being utterly distraught because everybody rejects him, and so he then seeks revenge on Victor.
Did he have bolts in his neck?
That's not indicated in the book.
It's not in the book.
There's
so
not
that was
much
just-
description of it.
It's interesting how that's like a primary part of Frankenstein in movies today. Like everybody recognizes him by his stitched forehead and the bolt sticking out of his neck, but that's not described in the book anywhere.
No, he's like 8 foot tall and very muscular.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Can we move on to our topic of discussion?
Well, you didn't finish Frankenstein.
I liked Frankenstein if you are into actual like reading and understanding and enjoy things other than just mundane action films, then Frankenstein.
Oh, so because you're not into it, it's mundane.
Mundane technically means like it's of the earth. Like it's just of things that are...
Well, we're all of the earth, if you think about it.
There you go. So everything can be mundane.
Everything is mundane.
Everything's mundane. This podcast is mundane.
Planet Earth.
Planet
we're
Earth is
all of
mundane.
planet Earth.
We're all mundane.
The whole world, everything exists in it is mundane.
Mundane. You know what's not
Is
mundane?
that where Monday comes from? So like Monday is like
Monday.
especially earthy,
I think that has actually to do... Well, no, because Thor is like Thor's day.
right?
So I think Monday actually has something to do with the moon, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. Not sure.
I won't.
So
I don't usually quote you.
let's hard merge into something.
Hard merge.
So I want to talk about Gold West.
Okay.
Reason I want to talk about Gold West is because 1, we just replayed it. 2, it just was reprinted. 3, it's an excellent game. We have mentioned...
4, J. Alex Cavern has just come out with a new game,
But I haven't played J. Alex Cavern's new game, but I'm interested in it.
but I would like to play it.
Gold West by TMG Games recently just got a reprint. It's a 2 to 4 player game, lasts about an hour. You could probably... Oh, I got to plug us. If you look on our Instagram, you'll probably see pictures of Gold West at some point in time because we take pictures of games as we play it. Secondly, please send us an email at boardgamesnobs@gmail.com.
Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes.
Instagram,
Or a
Facebook.
comment
We're on
on
Facebook,
Podbean.
Amazon, LinkedIn, and Stitcher. Also, we really, really enjoy people emailing us. We get a kick out of that. I've actually, now that I've taken off.
Really?
Yes.
See, like I remember starting off enjoying that, and you're like, I don't care.
Well,
I don't care.
I used to be like a honey badger. I didn't care.
I'm Jerry,
But
and I
now
don't care.
I'm more of a I've become more reliant on the approval of others. Let's just say that. I remember the first time I posted something on Instagram and another random individual, that little heart thing popped up. They liked it. And that's when I knew I was destined for this. Gold West. I like Gold West. Gold West is not well, it is kind of a worker placement. You're not placing workers, you're placing tents and encampments.
Pitch and tents.
So basically the game starts off where you have this modular board, and as it's set up, there are 4 sections. There's like wood and clay, like mountainous areas where there might be gold, areas where there might be metal. So like 4 separate areas. You put these little chits out there on those areas face down, and when they get flipped over as you explore those areas, you see what resources you can pick up. And each turn, you're going to have to correct me, this is a Moncala kind of mechanism, isn't
Yes.
it? Yes. You have your little 4-space Moncala on your own personal player board. You place resources in one of those 4 spots, and each turn you select one of those areas. You picked up all the resources in it, and you move it forward, dropping off one resource of your choice in each area until it's off the board. And the resources that get pushed off the board are the resources that you can utilize. And so they're like rocks and stones that you can use to build encampments. You place your little tent out there on the little player board, and you get the resources out there. You have gold and rock and copper that you utilize to either fulfill orders or
copper, silver, gold, trees, coal.
coal. All right. And you use the precious metals to either sell them for fulfill these orders and get victory points, or move your little wagon trains along these little tracks. And the further down you go, you get more victory points, and so forth and so on. It's difficult to understand the. I hate to use the term elegant, but it's not because that's not really the term I want to use.
With the metals, there's several different things you can do.
Right. So that's what I like about it. So here's what's so great about Gold West. And so obviously we're not going to do a good job at trying to explain it, and you're just listening to it. Terrible job.
So far, I don't know even what you're talking about. And I played it with you.
So what makes the game good? Let's just talk about that.
Okay,
Here's what makes the game good. That little Moncala requires you to think very strategically about where you're going to put these resources when you get them.
How many spots is it? You have a 0, a 1, a 2, and a 3.
There's 4. And so if you put it down at the very bottom, you automatically get 3 victory points.
3 spot, you get 3 victory points.
That's the great thing. But now, say you have 5 resources in that bottom spot. Every time you activate that spot to move those resources up, you have to drop one off in each space there. So you end up only pushing 5 out of the 5 resources you pick up in the last spot. You only end up 2 coming off your board, and those 2 are the ones you can utilize. So you kind of have to think several moves ahead. I'm going to put these resources in this spot, and then next round I'm going to put these other resources here, and then finally I'm going to activate them, and I'm going to be utilizing all these various resources. So the further ahead that you can think in this game, the more you are rewarded. So if you have somebody who's very short term and they can't think too far ahead, they're going to be utilizing the 0 spot, the first spot, which automatically just pushes everything out into the play area, and then you can utilize them. They give you no victory points. Whereas people who are going to be able to think ahead, they tend to place their stuff further back, and thus they're automatically getting rewarded. So it rewards you for thinking ahead.
But if you don't have enough stuff to go out, like if you just put 3 items back there,
that's another beautiful thing about the game. It penalizes you. So for instance, say you don't have the wood or the coal. It takes 1 wood or a coal to build a settlement, to build a tent.
Why trees or coal enable you to make a settlement?
Well,
I don't
because
know.
trees build your tent and coals for your fires. But if you get a tree and a coal off at the same time, then you can build a settlement, which gives you basically more points at the end of the game because you have more influence in that area. So it rewards you for thinking ahead, but it penalizes you for not. So you can, if you don't end up having enough resources to build your encampment, you have to loot, which automatically costs you a victory point. You just take some resources. Basically, it's you still make a turn, but you still take a turn, but you're penalized. So it penalizes you for not thinking ahead. It's a great thing. So it's just a fantastic mechanism overall, and that's the primary mechanism of the game, is just being able to think ahead, plan ahead, and utilize the resources that you have. So after you've got that going on with your own player board, the next thing that really hits you is where are you going to place your encampments, your tents out on the board. So you can see certain resources that have been turned over, certain spots. So you want to keep all of your tents and settlements together because you get more victory points by keeping them all adjacent. And so you're having to manage that, or do you even want to think that long term? Do you just want to place your encampments out wherever just to get whatever resources that you need? Plus, you're getting your 3 precious metals, your gold and your metals and your copper. How are you going to utilize them when you place them, or when they get utilized? Are you going to sell them quickly to fulfill an order and get quick victory points, or are you going to use them to purchase a in-game victory point scoring spot, where you like little achievements that you get extra points for, or are you going to sell them and transport them down the road utilizing your wagons? The further down that you use them, the more victory points you get. What I like about the game, it's straightforward.
You've bored me with your talking.
2 simple mechanisms.
To describe it as boring, to play it as fun.
Exactly. 2 simple mechanisms, but multiple paths to victory. Do you not agree?
Well, is that not most games? I mean, there's a lot of games. The gameplay is simple. Crusaders. The gameplay's simple. Newton. The gameplay's simple. You play cards, da-da-da-da. But within that, there's a lot of strategy.
Are you trying to piss me off? What do you say?
I'm just saying. There's lots of games where the gameplay is simple.
No, that's not.
That's correct. I mean, yes, the gameplay is simple. You play the Mancala, but what you do with those pieces, what part you pick up, you going to do stone? You're going to do gold? What are you going to do? You're going to do the elements? Or you're going to do, what's the stone or what?
Whatever it is.
What's the green?
It's what trees.
Forest, trees, whatever.
You can't see that from the forest from the trees. Get it?
Yeah, I got it. It's a simple play, but there's thinking to be done with it.
It's multiple paths to victory, and there's thinking to be done. That is what is lacking in the other games for which you had mentioned.
False.
Crusaders? No.
You don't know.
I know. There is not multiple paths to victory in Crusaders. You build...
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah.
No. I argue that all day long. Crusaders is not...
I'll say yeah all day long.
Well, then I'll have to replay you the podcast where you agreed that basically building churches is the way to win.
It's influence. It's a
influence.
race, but you have to do other things. That's just like Newton. I said, yes, you have to concentrate on the books, but within those books, you have to travel. Where are you going to travel? Everybody's going to travel to a different spot.
is this-
You have to add, there's a little flair to every part of it.
Flair?
So you're going to have a primary path
Flair?
to victory.
Is this Chili's?
But then, no,
Your
that's
14
TGIF.
Oh, your 14 pieces of flair?
That's TGIF. There's not enough TGIFs in the world.
What happened to them?
I prefer...
They didn't have enough
If
flair.
I had my choice over Chili's trumps Applebee's, TGIF trumps Chili's.
Red Robin trumps them all. Go.
No.
You don't like Red Robin?
No. That's ridiculous. What you just said is ridiculous.
I think there are Red Robin lovers out there.
Robin. I do remember the
Yum.
jingle, though.
It's good. It's good. This is going to be one of these podcasts where we fight. That's fine, but we will agree on this. Gold West is an excellent game.
I do agree on that.
Blanket
J.
approval.
Alex Cavern.
Cavern.
You've done it again.
Well, it's a reprint, so technically he's been doing it
You've
already.
done it several times.
Several times. It's been reprinted,
You've made Sentient,
which is good.
which the T800 appreciates. You've made Gold West,
Why
which
didn't you?
me and Jerry
Why
appreciate.
didn't you do any voices for Gold West? You don't do westerns.
I don't do voices. People just show up.
My wife has. While we're on westerns, I'm sorry. My wife has taken umbrage with something with you.
Umbrage?
Which is
How you spell umbrage?
bridge. Umbrage. I don't know.
UMBRIDGE?
Something like that. I'm not an English major.
Or is it UMBRAGE?
That sounds like an A thing. I think it's umbrage. My wife umbrage with you is
What?
that when we were talking about westerns a few podcasts back, you mentioned several, but there was one that you left out. And in querying
I said Magnificent Seven and Silverado.
and
Those
in
are my two
querying
favorites.
me later about it because she listens to a podcast occasionally.
What?
Yes, she did.
Why? That's dangerous.
I know. She
Jennifer.
wondered
How's it
why.
going?
She wondered why you did not mention Lonesome Dove.
You know why?
Why?
I will tell you this.
I want to hear it. No, I don't. My wife does.
Never seen it.
And your ratings with her have now dropped. You
I
have
can't help it.
never watched Lonesome Dove.
When did that come out?
It was during that time period. It was
No,
it was
no.
a television show.
When did that come out?
I don't know off the top of my head when the
My parents
4-part mini
were very strict with me when I was a child.
Oh, they were? Not with the freezer. Go ahead.
And whenever Lonesome Dove came out, I wasn't allowed to watch a whole lot. If I watched a good movie, it's probably because I snuck off and went to go see it.
89
In 89,
on CBS.
I was 12 years old.
You should have watched it.
In 89, we did not have cable TV.
Robert Duvall,
Yeah, we didn't have TV.
Tommy Lee Jones.
We did have an antenna. And depending on what day it come on, we had 3 channels. And if it came on the wrong day, then we weren't able to see
All
it.
right, pick one. Tommy Lee Jones, Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. I just making
That's
sure.
not even a...
I was worried there for a moment. I
No,
was just
I
worried.
like Tommy Lee, but Robert Duvall makes any movie better.
Everything. It just smells like victory.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
But I've never watched those. And it's a show. So like I don't even know where to go to watch it.
I have the DVD. I will loan it to you.
Okay. Well, I will. You will loan some it to me?
Yes. And I insist that we watch it together.
Oh, no.
Because I want to see if you'll
make
cry.
Me angry.
Why?
I don't know. Me and you differ too much on our opinions of things. Somehow we have merged on gaming together, but in almost everything else we differ.
Classic. Classic.
I have heard about. My wife is Lonesome Dove's big in her family.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I know westerns because of my dad. Rio Bravo, El Dorado, anything John Wayne, Gary Cooper.
I want your dad to play us out of this podcast, by the way, as well.
Oh,
I love that. You did an excellent job last time. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Who played Shane?
I can't remember. But
Shane is my father's favorite movie of all time.
Nice.
But also Rio Bravo, El Dorado, basically the same movie, two different names.
Yeah.
One with Ricky Nelson, one with
Ricky Nelson.
Ricky Nelson
Oh,
was
yeah.
in Rio Bravo.
When you said that, I thought Ricky Martin. I was sitting there thinking,
She bang, she bang.
oh, man.
No, but okay, this is okay. You brought this, so you got me back on movies.
I don't want to get off.
You got me back on movies.
Nope.
Westerns are weird to me because they're more sentimental to me than I actually like them.
You're sentimental.
I am. I'm very emotional. They are sentimental to me because my father loved them. Like
Right.
that's all my. And that's a dad thing, I guess.
Right.
Especially for Gen Xers. My dad watched westerns my whole life growing up. So I know westerns. Did I like them particularly? No. The ones I did see, I liked Silverado. I liked Magnificent Seven. I liked Rio Bravo. I liked El Dorado. But I wasn't like a western guy.
I see.
I was more of a sci-fi guy.
Yeah.
Superheroes.
Superheroes, yeah.
But yeah.
Did you watch Aliens versus Cowboys?
Terrible movie.
Yeah, I expected a lot out of that one.
Terrible
Didn't
movie.
Paul Dano.
Don't give me Daniel Craig, Paul Dano,
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Wasn't Bill in it?
Directed by the director of Iron Man. And you're like, oh, this is going to be a great movie. Great actors, great director. That was a dumb movie. The whole time I'm like, when's something going to happen? Oh, okay. Then they like start hunting that. It was just dumb. It was terrible. It was no Gold West of movies.
No, it wasn't. But Gold West has found its place into our hearts. And if you've missed it, much like Lonesome Dove, if you were interested in other things at the time of its first release, Gold West has come back. And if you are interested in a great Euro, then by all means, Gold West is probably one of the finest ones out there today.
Me and Jerry, we oftentimes agree on games. We oftentimes don't agree on games. Sometimes he'll love a game that I don't like. Sometimes I'll like a game that he don't like. But on Gold West, we both agree. It is a good, and it's one of those games, it's not going to knock your socks off. You're not going to be like, wow, until you play it. Because every time we play it, we're like, oh, okay, the Gold West. At least for me, I'm like, oh, Gold West. All right, yeah, I know that's a solid game. But then it's like, then I play it, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's why I like it. It's so good. It's so smooth.
It's nice.
The scoring is good.
It's tight.
It's just good. It's a solid game.
It's approved. We, again, got to play 878 Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
We like to play games after a while, after we kind of ruminate on them and kind of make
I
sure.
told you I was wanting to play it
Tell me
again
nothing.
while I remembered the
You
rules.
don't- anyways.
That's what I told you.
And we do what you want, because if you don't, you whine.
I appreciate that.
So we played 878 Vikings again.
If you don't whine, then you just ignore me.
This time,
I have to say it repeatedly.
it was just me
Just me versus you.
and Gabi. And so,
We
despite...
got rid of the sleeveless wonder
and Bubba.
and Bubba.
Bubba was unavailable. He had more important
Bubba
things
has
to do.
to work.
And
The sleeveless
Enrique's...
wonder was nowhere to be found.
Enrique's at a gender reveal party.
What?
Yeah, he's going to a...
Is he going to realize
what
he's
he
something
is?
else?
No, that is not what happens at a gender reveal party. They're
Oh.
like in the South. Now,
What am I?
most places, they like will bake a cake with either blue or red or pink or something in it, and then they cut it, and people are like, "Oh, so you're having a boy." But here in the South, I don't know.
Question.
They shoot things and it blows up, and there's smoke, and it's like
blows up in blue or pink.
I think that's. I don't know if that's
So
what's gonna happen.
cliche.
I don't know if that's what's going to happen though. I don't know how they're.
Who's gender reveal?
I don't know. There's a family member. They have extensive family members.
I mean, you got a 50-50 shot. Is it that exciting? I've never been a parent, so I don't know.
You've never been a parent.
I'm speaking in ignorance.
I will say it is very exciting.
You?
Yes, very exciting.
To what?
To find out.
If it's a boy or a girl?
Yes,
it's either a boy or a girl.
But you don't know what you're going to name it. But you also don't know like what is your mindset.
It's not going to be a xenomorph.
You don't know.
No, that would be
come
surprising.
bursting out of your wife's chest and just be like,
we have the room all set up for you. Bunch of peanuts on the floor. What is a xenomorph like?
I would say acid and flesh. Apparently. Oh, that went to a dark place instantly. But it's okay.
A good chest burster.
A good chest buster, face hugger. Yeah, nothing wrong with little aliens. Oh.
So anyway,
back to
Enrique couldn't be here,
and we miss him. So
he's finding out
we
what he
so miss you, Enrique. You're like our third or fourth favorite person. Back to 878 Vikings. So me and Gabby played it solo, not solo, without other people. Mainly
played it
duo,
mono,
mono. So your thoughts? You tell me. Careful now.
It's kind of as I said.
What did you say?
The last time I talked about this, which was 2-3 podcasts ago, if I get to play it again, well, I can remember the game. I can kind of remember what cards come out. I can remember how basically it goes. The Vikings come out storming the northern shores. Well, then I had a game plan in mind. I was like, okay, well, then I'm going to kind of stack up my guys further down south and then let you come to me. And I kind of let that happen. Now, from there on out, it's just die rolls and random card draws. Yes, but you can kind of know how the game's going to go. Especially if you played it several times. You know the cards that are there. Now, we have been playing the beginner setup. We have not yet ventured into the variants, the scenarios. There's you have cards 1 through 12. Then there's other cards that come out, but we haven't done that yet. I've only played the game. This is my third time now.
And
I enjoyed it immensely.
How immensely? Because the last time we talked about it, you were all groaning and gobbling about, no.
I told you I liked it.
It's all right.
I liked it.
I just don't know about it.
I didn't know about it.
You sit over there and I don't know. Y'all have
I much prefer this a one-on-one game.
Yeah, I will
agree. A two-player game.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think that the one-on-one game is more strategic because you can kind of think out your plan and you're not worried about your partner.
I'm not worried about what crazy thing Jerry's going to do.
But having a partner does allow you to, it does add an element of
bounce ideas off of you or something.
I liked it. I like that aspect of it.
I understand that. But I'm just telling you, from our 2-on-2 to this 1-on-1, I would rather play this mono any day.
But you did like it.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Is it approved?
It is now approved.
It is now approved. Thank you for that.
And I will say, this is one of few games I have played where I started off not liking it at all.
Right. No, you were dead set against it. Stop midway. Game one.
I stopped it the first time.
Yes.
I was like, no, I don't like this game.
The second game.
But I was tired. You caught me late at night and I was cranky.
The second
and when
game.
I'm cranky, I don't like playing games. And then you get on my nerves because you can be particularly annoying sometimes.
I am aghast.
No.
What?
You can really... You know how to push my buttons, and you do it.
I do not push any buttons.
Push buttons.
I am not a fiend.
You are a button pusher.
I will say that one thing that I will point out, since you did bring it up, that's slightly irritating about you, since we're talking
about me?
About you.
Dear, wait, no, we're not talking about me.
Is that the second time we played, you were having a fantastic time. You were laughing and going on and conspiring, and you just seemed like we were just having the greatest time ever.
You talking about when it was me and you versus Bubba and Enrique?
Yes. And then, as soon as the game's over, Bubba's like, this is fun, man. I love this game. And Enrique's over there flapping his hands and just going about ripping his sleeves off. And I'm sitting back there, kick back, saying, so Gabi, pretty good, isn't it? And you're like, well, it could have been better. That is what's infuriating.
I'm telling you, there was something missing.
Infuriating. You didn't win.
No, that wasn't it.
But you were infuriated by it. And I mean, that was just insane. And so
the game is infuriating.
It is infuriating because this game, and this is what I'm going to preference this with.
I think it's built to be infuriating, especially for the English.
I like the fact that 878 Vikings offers an asymmetrical experience. In this game, your Vikings raiding England. If you're the Englanders, is that a word?
We've already talked about the game before.
But I'm not saying that. But the England people have this
British.
English. That's who they are. It took me a second. I kept trying to think of Doctor Who. It just kept coming back. The Englanders.
Well, England is the island of England.
Favorite Doctor Who?
10.
Who?
10. Number 10.
Okay, making sure.
David.
As Tennant. Hence the name
David Tennant, yes.
As is mine. I like him. I'll closely followed by Matt Smith.
I would say, strangely enough, for me, it's 10, 12.
So you like 12 better than 11?
Yes.
Really?
11 I liked in the very first episode. Matt Smith, that first episode, I was like,
great.
Wow, this guy's great. And he's good. Don't get me wrong. I really like Matt Smith. But what happened with 12 for me is I started off, much like 878 Vikings, I started off hating 12.
That was a nice merge.
Thank you. I started off
Segue.
hating 12.
Yeah.
He was angry, which went along with the character because he was an angry character. He was annoying.
Much like me.
He was miserable.
Much like me.
And that's the way mostly the first season went.
Pretty much.
But as 12 continued on, he kind of slowly grew on me. And he slowly became the doctor I like, who was more... He was just grumpy and mean the first season.
Is the 12th Doctor an analogy for our relationship? Am I the 12th Doctor?
You're the 12th Doctor
I am the
to
12th
me.
Doctor.
I started off really not liking you.
Well, it worked out in the end.
But now we're best friends.
Excuse me. This
Bill,
cough
I
ain't
choked you up.
cough. No, I've got the plague.
Chlamydia. Clam diddly.
878 Vikings.
You're still fighting that.
It's been going on for a long time.
You not got the antibiotics for that
I've been
yet?
on 2 sets of antibiotics. It's bad.
2 shots a day.
It's bad. 878's Vikings is, I would recommend it for those. It's one of the few Ameritrash games that we like. Would you say
Now
that?
I like it.
Yeah, like we're not big into Ameritrash games. I enjoy it because of the interaction and the different feel, being the Vikings and invading and feeling like you're going to win and you just can't lose, and then losing is an amazing feeling.
It's very okay. This game is very interesting to me. First of all, it took me 3 or 4 plays to actually even enjoy it. The third play, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed fighting back and forth with Bubba and Enrique. But this last play, I knew the game. It's like, I know the Vikings are going to show up with overwhelming force. They're going to march. They're going to take over these countries, these whatever, the shires they're called.
Shires.
So as the British or English or whatever you want to call it, you have to stack up in certain regions. You just got to be committed to protecting certain regions and just build up, build up, build up. And that's what I did. Now, I didn't know I was going to win. I happened to win. But Jerry, we even still, like, there was cards. I was like, oh wait, I should have done this, and Jerry allowed me to like, oh yeah, you should have done that. In retrospect, since I'm not real familiar with the game, that's what I'm going to do. So you play these cards that enable you to do certain things, go certain places. So really, I think it's a game for experienced players of the game. If they know what cards come out, if they're familiar with the deck, if they're familiar with how the game plays, then I'm anticipating, yes, the Vikings are going to show up, overwhelm me. I get that. I might as well forget about trying to win in the first few moves. It's not going to happen. But as the game goes on, you can play these treaty cards, and then if you can defeat the enemy within a certain amount of action, within a certain time period, after stage 5 or whatever it is, I forget, then you know what you need to do. Withhold the Vikings for a certain amount of time, or withhold this amount of property for this long of time. then I know what to do. It's a game, I think, that you benefit from knowing how it works. Not knowing how it worked affected me, and I didn't enjoy it. But now that I know what to expect, I like it. Especially just tossing dice, fighting. I know if I'm going to go fight the Vikings, they will beat you down with just a few dice. So I need to have a big army to go up against you. And that's what I did one time. But really, this game ended just on me claiming the right amount of properties at the right time.
Which there's several ways of victory on the game. But yeah, this game does reward those who know the cards. If you know the cards better, then obviously you're going to anticipate what your opponent has. But also there's other cards that you can deck build a little bit at the beginning of the game. Each side picks which cards they're going to utilize in the advanced version. So that adds a certain amount of variety. Leaf did not like it, according to the Instagram. Leafer did not enjoy it. I wonder why. Are real Vikings just not into... Are they into Euros?
Maybe it's just redundant.
Maybe it is redundant.
Like been there, done that.
Perhaps once you've pillaged in real life, pillaging, it's not the same. It's not the same.
Well, Gold West, we enjoyed 878 Vikings. I enjoy now. It is Board Game Snobs approved on all fronts.
It's good. It's good. Bubba loves it. Enrique loves it. I love it. Now Gobby's jumped on board.
Now I'm also enjoying it
but
as well.
I would warn that it's only for those who are of the Ameritrash, trash, whatever, persuasion. It's not something that I think hardcore Euro gamers who don't have a broad view.
No, well, that's what I said, because I'm a more of a Euro gamer myself, and it didn't appeal to me at first. But upon multiple plays, realizing what's going on, what cards, yes, we enjoyed it.
That being said, I think that Gold West is like a blanket approval. Gold West has been a mainstay for us since it first came out, the first print run. It is probably one of my favorite, almost the favorite TMG game out there for me. And it has just...
Jay Alex is coming out with a new one.
I know. I'll be interested.
I think it's Renegade.
I'd be
artsy.
It'll be interested in seeing what he does.
And I almost... Okay. I think it's got a solo in it, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, we'll see.
But I like Jay Alex as well, because he does different things in all his games.
Right. He does.
We haven't played World's Fair yet, but Sentient, a vastly different game.
Well, I'm looking forward to next upcoming weeks. We're going to be playing some solo games and reviewing them. Black Sonata. And, of course, we have to do a brief review. We've raved about coffee roasters. I'd like to talk about that. Cuba Libre and Combat Commander Europe. We're going to try to get into some of these so-called war games, and we're going to see if they are actually as good as what people have touted them to be.
I hope so.
And then, of course, at some point in time...
I spent a small fortune buying them.
At some point in time, we're going to do a top 10. We got to get that clickbait out there.
Done. Top 10.
Right. All right. Well, this is Jerry.
This is Gabby.
All right, bye.
Mi guitarra está llorando y es porque tengo una pena. Mi corazón está sangrando, por eso lloran las cuerdas. Por un amor imposible que me está martirizando, que me hace actuar como un loco y que agota mi paciencia. Por un amor imposible que me está martirizando, que me hace actuar como un loco y que agota mi paciencia. Mi guitarra está llorando y es porque tengo una pena. En su pecho está grabado el dolor de mi tragedia. Y por más que me emborracho, olvidarla no he logrado. Cuando recobro el sentido, sigo pensando en ella. Y por más que me emborracho, olvidarla no he logrado. Cuando recobro el sentido, sigo pensando en ella. Y llorar, llorar. tristes cuerdas y al compás de sus canciones, yo quiero llorar con ella. Mi guitarra fiel testigo de este cruel sufrimiento. Solo ella y yo sabemos cuánto yo la quiero. Y al ver que me estoy muriendo, ella no es como los hombres, no puede callar su pena y se escucha su lamento. Y al ver que me estoy muriendo, ella no es como los hombres, no puede callar su pena y se escucha su lamento. Y llorar, llorar es lo único que queda. Llorar, llorar junto a esas tristes cuerdas y al compás de sus canciones, yo quiero llorar con ella.